Actually, it's funny. I'll tell you the story that's kind of crazy. So my mother-in-law was like, I've been watching a lot of movies lately," and I was like, "Oh yeah?" I was like, "What have you been watching?" And she goes, "Well, I don't know if you've seen it or not. It's this movie. I think it's called Deadpool and Deadpool 2." And I was like, "Bet." I was like, "What did you think?" And she was just like, she's like, "They're really, really funny." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, I laughed a lot in them." I was like, "Oh, bet." And then Deadpool 2 came on, right? And
Yeah.
like her and I sat down, we watched it, and I just started explaining all the jokes to her, like more in depth. And she's like, "This movie was already really good." She's like, "Having you here explain more things to me makes this movie even better."
That's awesome, man. That's so cool.
Like,
That's
I was
dope.
like, because she missed like some stuff like she didn't realize. I was like, yeah, I was like, when you watch Deadpool 2, did you notice Brad Pitt in the movie? And she was just like, no. I was like, yeah.
Out
So let's
Brad
go.
Pitt. Like,
Yeah, I
yeah.
was like, so let's go back and watch it. So we were watching it, and we got to that scene where the two rednecks are sitting in the back of the truck talking.
Yeah, yeah,
And I was like, oh, that's Alan Tudyk. I was like, he did the voice of Hey Hey and Moana and tons of other voices. And he's in a
yeah.
lot of other stuff. I was like, and the guy on the left, Matt Damon. And she was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. I love that Matt Damon shows up in superhero movies in like the most mundane roles.
Yeah.
Like, that's funny. No, no, that's awesome, man. I love doing that sort of thing as well. Like when someone's like, "Hey, I watched this movie." It's like, "Oh, cool." And then like if you get a chance to sit and watch it with them and kind of be like, "This is that and that's this." And then they're like, "Oh, I didn't know that. That actually makes me appreciate it more." Like I love that kind of stuff, man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
She got me, she started laughing because there's that scene where they're in Deadpool 2 where he's like walking around, he's just like, he's cruising in Xavier's chair, and he's like, "How come in this giant big ass place we can't get some more X-Men?" And like I hit the pause button because obviously there's Xavier, and I started pointing out all the actors, and she was
Yeah.
like, "Oh wow," she's like, "I didn't know James McAvoy was Professor X." And I was like, "Yeah." And there's Nightwing. I was like, "There's Nightcrawler. There's Beast." I was like, "That girl right there who plays Storm, that's actually the girl who played Aaliyah in the biopic." I was like, "There's,"
Yeah.
and she was like, "Oh wow." She's like, "I had no idea." I was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, and there's Quicksilver right there. He's actually probably one of the funnier characters to watch. And she was like, she was dying about it. She was like, "This is so cool that I get to be introduced more." And then he made reference where he was just like, can it? He's like, snap out of it, Thanos. And I was like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a reason for that. I was like, he low key plays Thanos on the Infinity War.
Yeah. That's actually one of my favorite jokes in that movie. It's like, he called him Thanos. That's awesome. Uh,
I forgot like how
yeah,
underrated that scene was though, where he's fighting Juggernaut, right? And then he gets slammed on the spike, and it goes through his head, and then the slow song starts playing, and like, he's like just drawing all over Colossus. Yo, I was like, I genuinely forgot like how funny that scene was.
yeah. Dude, Deadpool 2 is I've made it no secret. I enjoy Deadpool 2 more than Deadpool, and that's not to say Deadpool 1 isn't good. It's great,
Right.
but honestly, I like Deadpool 2 more because it's just there's so much humor and yeah, man, it's just so many great references for guys like you and me to pick up on, and to explain to other people who might not know the stuff. Like, yeah, I thought that was just a more immersive experience, man. I love Deadpool 2. That movie's awesome.
Every time, and he was just like, he was like, Gary, my name's Peter. Whatever. He's like, I'm yelling at you right now because I'm trying to look really, really nice, really, really mean in front of all the other guys, but I really would never let anything happen to you, Cupcake. He's like, and that's why we're gonna do this.
I love that scene. Oh man, such
I,
a great scene.
yeah, I was like, that whole movie was just so cool. And I was telling her, I was like, oh, that's the guy. Now I was pointing out different people. I was like, oh, that's the guy. He plays Cole Taylor in Mortal Kombat, which I forgot.
Yeah,
Shoot, Shatterstar. Like I was like, oh shit, that's right. And then obviously you seeing Terry Crews, and I was like, oh, and that's the guy who plays Pennywise in It. And she was like,
That's Pennywise.
Yeah, I was like, that.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that whole I love that joke with X-Force. That whole joke, like the setup, and then they all just get wiped out immediately. That's hilarious. That's one of my favorite jokes. Especially if you remember the marketing for the movie. They actually shot additional material with them just for the trailers to make it look like they were a much larger part of the movie. And then when you see the movie, they just get taken out right away.
Dude, like
I love that.
the best line in like that whole scene for me, right? So it's my opinion, and it is what it is. But when he drops in and Domino, he's like, the whole team's wiped out, and Domino's like, everyone. He's like, all the major important ones, but there's just you and me left.
Yeah.
I was like, this joke works on so many levels.
I know, man. I love it. I love it so much. But that movie, ah, man, I love Deadpool. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, this is Nerds of the Round Table. Well, right in the middle of me and Cliff professing our undying love for Deadpool 2. Um, yeah, man, I love that movie. Ladies and gentlemen, I am, of course, Antonio Padilla. With me, returning the champ, the Red Dog, Clifford Miller. Say what's up, man.
Yo,
There
what's
he
up?
is. And, of course, Mr. Swagtastic with a new backdrop. What's up, Swag?
Hey.
There he is, everybody. Yeah, so, look, ladies and gentlemen, we've been gone for a while. Life got pretty crazy over the last month or so. But we are back, and we've got a heck of a show for you. Before we get into the news, I do want to mention a few things up top. Ladies and gentlemen, I got something this week. I'm gonna show it to you right here. Check that out. The new 4K restored Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition. Now I bring it up. Obviously, I had the movie on Blu-ray when it came out back in 2016. The reason this is special is because this is a brand new restoration of the movie. It has all of the IMAX sequences that were shot for this movie fully restored, which none of the previous releases had. And also, this movie, more than any other movie I've watched in the 4K format, has sold me on the 4K format. This movie looks gorgeous in 4K. I was always kind of on the fence because, and Swag, you'll back me up on this. I talked about when I upgraded to 4K, I was like, feels like it's kind of a ripoff. Like, honestly, a lot of just standard 1080p HD looks better than 4K. But this movie, oh my God, is so like, I watched this in 4K and I was like, this is what I was promised, like upgrading to 4K, and this delivered on it. So if, like me, you're a little on the fence about upgrading, give this a watch, the restored edition. It'll blow your mind, man. Incredible. I love it. Although, if you're looking for this, good luck trying to find it, because Warner Brothers, being the a-holes that they are, has made it incredibly difficult to find this. So I got lucky and got a hold of a copy. I'm not going to say who hooked me up, but y'all should probably know who it was. But yeah, so it's awesome. It's great. Give it a check. Sort of sticking in the same vein before we move on to the news, I want to give a huge shout out to Foot Locker. That's right, Foot Locker, the shoe retailer that everybody is familiar with. This week, they donated $25,000 to the Autumn Snyder Tribute Fund for AFSP. And that is, we thank you, Foot Locker. That's very, very awesome, very cool of you. And yeah, just wanted to give them a shout out and remind everybody that we are still raising money for AFSP for the Autumn Snyder Tribute Fund. So there it is. Huge shout out to Foot Locker. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Now, with all that having been said, and of course we've been away for a couple of weeks, so we've got a couple of things to talk about. Let's get into trailers, boys. We got a lot of really dope trailers to talk about that we missed over the last couple of weeks. The first one I want to talk about is the Titans Season 3 trailer. We got the full story trailer recently, and it was phenomenal. I got so hyped seeing this trailer, and yeah, I want to throw it over. I feel like Cliff and I have sort of been talking this whole time, so I sort of want to give Swag a minute to sort of give his thoughts on the trailer. Swag, what do you think of this trailer? And what are you anticipating for season 3 of Titans?
Oh man, it's that thing of like waiting, like and just kind of wanting more, especially like since we only like towards the very end of season 2 we got the Nightwing suit, like wanting to see more of that.
Yeah.
It's like it's great seeing it all over the trailer, but it's also great like seeing more like other costumes. Like we get, aren't we, like we do get a glimpse of Starfire in her suit, right? In the trailer? Yeah. So that's cool too. Like at least we get to see that, in the trailer. But even like all of the story stuff about like Jason and even like the stuff with Bruce and Dick, like it's really interesting. And even seeing Barbara, that was cool.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm hyped. I'm excited. I can't wait to get more, more of this show and see what they do with the Red Hood story in this version of, like this version of the story that they want to tell.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. I think it was great. I said it to you when the trailer first dropped. I was like, it's just great to see that Nightwing suit in action. Since, obviously we only got it in the final episode of season 2. But yeah, I think it's great seeing all the characters back, seeing a lot of the new suits, the Red Hood and Starfire, like you said. Also, I want to give a shout out to we see Raven wearing some Amazon armor briefly in the trailer. Looks really cool. So yeah, man, I'm really into this. I can't wait to see. I just can't wait to get back into the show and start giving our thoughts and opinions on it. And this looks like they're going to be doing a lot of stuff that obviously we're excited to see. So yeah, I'm into it. Cliff, what about you? Thoughts on the season 3 trailer for Titan?
Man, you know what? Like seeing all the suits was really, really cool. I'm glad that we got that all back again. And then of course you guys already mentioned Starfire and Raymond, of course, seeing them in their like kind of like their costumes is really cool to see. I want to give a huge shout out to seeing Gizmo in the trailer though.
Yes.
Like even the goggles. Even the goggles.
Yeah,
I got popped for the goggles. Because at first I saw it and I was like, I don't know who that. And I was staring at it and I was like, I don't know who that is. And then like as it reared back, he started laughing at the goggles. It's like, it's Gizmo! Oh,
Gizmo! Yeah, man, I almost totally forgot about that. But yeah, Gizmo. Which even I was like, who is this guy supposed to be? And someone else was like, it's Gizmo. And I was like, that's Gizmo! Oh, shit. That's awesome.
So yeah, I was excited seeing that. I'm kind of curious to see, as in like the Joker that we have that's kind of been teased. I really want to see more from that. And then like it's cool to see like that scene where all like the thugs are all lined up on the table, and then you just see Red Hood pop out, and you know what's gonna happen. Everybody's getting annihilated.
Oh yeah, I loved seeing that because it's like, oh, we're doing that. All right, cool. That's awesome.
This will be a long night.
For sure.
Yeah, and then the last one I want to talk about is it's cool seeing Oracle. Like it's definitely cool seeing Barbara.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I'm actually very, very interested to see what they do with the character. I mean, obviously we got a hint of like, we've known that she's going to be commissioner, but I like that exchange between her and Dick, and she's like, "That you not understand how crazy it is to step into your father's shoes," and he's like, "I do, Commissioner Gordon." And she just gives him that look. Like, I love that. I love that moment. That was such a great moment.
The tease.
Yeah,
the teases.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited. Swag, any other thoughts on the trailer?
No, like just it got my hype levels up even more than it already was. I can't wait to see more of this show.
Cliff, any other thoughts?
No, that's it, man. Like I can't wait.
Yeah, we don't have to wait much longer because season 3 is on HBO Max August 12th, which is what, 2 weeks away from when we're recording. Which,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, we are recording. It is July 30th, 2021. It is a Friday. Yeah, not much longer to wait. So we're almost there. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you've seen the trailer, let us know what you thought. What are you most excited to see, and what stood out to you the most? All right, let's keep going. Let's keep moving on to the next trailer because this is one that, again, this is a follow up to something we've spoken about on the show quite a bit. Much, and Cliff and I even did we gave our thoughts and opinions on the movie that this is connected to. We got the first trailer. I believe this is the teaser trailer though, for the prequel to Army of the Dead, Army of Thieves, which will be dropping sometime this fall. I don't think there's an actual release date as of yet. We know it will be this year. This trailer, look, man, I'm in, man. This looks like fun. This looks like a lot of fun. I'm interested to see just what kind of story we get, what kind of answers we get, because obviously we see in the trailer they do touch on, like, the infection that's happening, the outbreak, I guess is what they refer to it as. And yeah, so I'm very excited. The cast is phenomenal, and Cliff and I, and even Swag, you didn't get to give your thoughts and opinions on Army of the Dead, but I know you watched it. I know you enjoyed it. So, and I know you saw this trailer for Army of Thieves. So, what do you think? Like, are you excited? How do you think this is gonna fit? Like, what do you look?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I, and that's the thing too. Like, Dieter being
Yeah.
like the pretty much the main character of this one is
Yeah.
pretty cool because I did like his character in
Oh yeah.
Army of the Dead. So
Yeah.
I think that's great that we're gonna get to see more of him and
Mhm.
his character, but also like because we heard of this story of him just in passing that he did this job.
Yeah.
That's what he's known for,
Yeah.
and so this is gonna be great to see how it all happened and why it was so important to mention that, why it was such a great feat to have accomplished. So yeah,
Yes.
this is gonna be great.
I agree. I think it's obviously there's a reason why he was chosen to be the safecracker.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just yeah. Look, like we said when we were talking about Army of the Dead, I think it's just great that we're gonna get more world building and we're gonna see what the rest of this universe looks like, especially since, like, again, like, obviously a core part of it is like there's this zombie outbreak happening. It's like, what does that mean for the rest of the world? I'm super excited. I can't wait to see what's in store. Cliff, what about you?
Yeah, I like the fact that it's kind of like centered around Peter, and like obviously it's like I like just a love interest in it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's his character was like the one character that I felt like needed a little bit more explaining. So I'm glad that Zach was kind of like, you're gonna get all that in this world. But then it's also knowing that you already know his fate.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Which,
not like he made it to the sequel.
oh,
Spoiler. Spoiler for those who haven't seen it yet.
spoilers. Yeah. But yeah, no, and it's funny because before I even forget, since we're talking about this trailer, Army of the Dead 2 has been greenlit over at Netflix, so that's pretty cool. As well as, there's an animated series, Lost Vegas, which is going to be awesome. But yeah, no, man, I'm just, look, man, I'm glad Zach is getting to, tell his own stories and build worlds over there at Netflix. Like, that's pretty cool. But yeah, Cliff, any other thoughts?
No. That's it. That's it for me.
All right, Swag, do you have anything else to say about this?
No, yeah, just excited to get more, especially from Zach and his mind. I can't wait to see what he does with this world that he's, set up for us. I can't wait to see what he builds on.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it's funny because I was talking with someone last night about it, and we were talking about how Army of the Dead had so many. And Swag, you'll remember I talked to you about. There are so many like blink and you'll miss it moments of world building in that movie, and honestly, that's what I'm so excited about. Like whether we get elaboration in this movie or whether it's an animated series or a sequel or whatever, I just want more,
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm really excited for this movie. Can't wait. Once again, it will be dropping on Netflix sometime this fall or winter. Again, there was no official date released yet, but we will keep you guys updated on that. So yeah, if you've seen the trailer for this, ladies and gentlemen, once again, let us know what you thought. Are you excited? What are you most looking forward to? And yeah, give us your opinions. We'd love to hear from you. All right, let's move on to the next trailer we got, and this one. Look, this is we got a trailer for a movie that I had to sit and think about it, and I think next to Zack Snyder's Justice League, this was my most anticipated movie of 2021. We got the main official trailer for Dune, and look, man, I've watched this trailer so many times since it dropped. I'm so hyped for this, and this trailer just put my hype levels through the roof. Yeah, man, I'm super hyped for this movie. Looks incredible. Denis Villeneuve, as far as I'm like, you might be the best sci-fi director currently working in Hollywood right now. Cliff, what were your thoughts on this trailer?
I'm excited. There's a lot going on with it, so for me, it's the cast that's really got me hyped into it, especially when you're seeing like Batista and Zendaya in there. I mean, it's to me, it's just beautifully like crafted. And we said that what almost like 10 months ago. We're like
Yeah.
this trailer's already got us bought in. It's only gonna get better, and
Yeah.
it has.
Oh yeah, for sure. Swag, what about you? What do you think of the trailer?
Oh yeah, like I was in with the first one,
Mhm.
and like this one, it's like like what Cliff was saying, like it only got better. Like it was great, this trailer. Like everybody was amazing. Just for a just for a trailer, like there was a lot of performance and like good stuff from everybody, and you could tell that everybody was giving their performance like all of the energy that they could, and that gets me really excited to see the whole movie.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Like Cliff was saying, like the just visually and like the craftsmanship that's on display here, I think has me super excited. And again, like Denis Villeneuve, he delivered probably the greatest sequel of all time with
Yeah.
Blade 2049. Like that movie blew me away. It continues to blow me away to this day. And like this is the guy who directed Arrival, which phenomenal. He directed Sicario. If you're familiar, I know that's not a sci-fi movie, but like still, like it shows the level of filmmaker that he is. And like Cliff was saying, man, this cast is phenomenal. You got Oscar Isaac, Dave Bautista, Josh,
Josh
Josh
Brolin.
Brolin. I'm blanking on it for a moment. Yeah, Josh Brolin. I believe David Dismalson is in this movie as well, which makes sense because he worked with Sony on Blade Runner 2049. And I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Rebecca Ferguson, Stellan Skarsgård, like this guy, Jason Momoa. This cast is phenomenal, man. And look, what else can we say, right? Like the trailer looks. I can't wait to see this movie. It's gonna be awesome. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Dune coming at you October 22nd, and keep in mind that this will be available in theaters as well as on HBO Max. So that's going to be awesome. I'm not going to lie, I'm probably going to try and see it on an IMAX screen because I mean, look at those gorgeous visuals. I got to see it on the. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you've seen the trailer, let us know what you thought about it. Yeah, there it is. I think only good things to say about the trailer. All right, let's get on to the next trailer. This is one I'm very interested to get opinions on, especially from Cliff. This week we got the second trailer for Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I told Swag recently I went on a Ghostbusters kick. You know, I rewatched the first two movies. I watched the 2016 movie. I watched some of the animated series. You know, I kind of went on a deep dive into the lore and everything and get myself hyped up. So yes, I am very much looking forward to this movie. This trailer got me all kinds of emotional. I'm not gonna lie. Just tugging at my heartstrings in certain moments. And I know I'm not the only one. I spoke to a lot of other Ghostbusters fans online, and they were like, "Yeah, man, there were moments where I didn't feel up watching." I was like, "Same." Same. But I want to throw this over to Cliff, man. Cliff, what do you think of this trailer?
Oh, I loved it. I as soon as I saw, like, I forget if I was like on Twitter or something, and like all of a sudden it just went from like non-existent to like #1 trending, and I was like, what are we talking? So I clicked, and I was just like, oh my god, like this is so amazing. And then as soon as they unveiled the car, I was like, yeah, like the kid in me was like, let's go. And then like all the callbacks that we were getting to it, I was genuinely excited. I was like, man. I was like, but I feel bad for Finn because like he gets typecasted in these movies where like, hey, you're the Stranger Things kid. Like you should be in this movie too. Like he has way more range than what you guys are giving him credit for.
But it's funny because he told the story about how he didn't think he was gonna get the audition for the movie. Because, you know, there's an episode of Stranger Things where they're dressed up like Ghostbusters. He's like, there's no way they're gonna let me in this movie. I mean, here we are. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, I think that kid has so much range. It's like, yeah, let him try some other stuff. But I mean, like, you know, I think it's great he's in the movie. He looks like he's having fun. Yeah. I want to give a shout out to McKenna Grace, who's playing the younger Phoebe, I believe is her name.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even realize that was her. And you know, I've seen her in a bunch of other stuff, and we always really impressed with her ability, and especially in this trailer, like, because she's playing one of Egon's grandkids, she's playing his granddaughter. There's a moment where, you know, where she looks at, and she's like, maybe it's in your pocket. Her deadpan delivery is so Harold Ramis as Egon. Like, I legitimately was like, whoa, like, what happened? Like, that was phenomenal. But yeah, yeah, man, the cast for this movie is incredible. Swag, what do you think of this trailer?
Oh, I loved it. Like, every second of it was amazing. And it was just that thing of like hype levels like increasing every like second of that trailer, and then like the ending to it, like chills, man. Like that was like, I was like, yes, I want to watch this like right now.
Oh yeah, I feel the same way, man. It's you know, it's that thing where I was watching this trailer and I was like, I was so excited, and I'm like, I can't wait to watch this. But it's also that thing where it's kind of like Dune, where it's like, we should have seen this movie last year.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, look, I'm still super excited. I can't wait to see it. But it's like, come on, I've been waiting so long. I need it right now. But yeah, no, I'm super excited, man. There's so much dope stuff happening in this trailer. And my hat's off to Jason Reitman, who has been one of my favorite directors from the last, 15, maybe 16, 17 years. He is the son of Ivan Reitman, who directed the first two Ghostbusters. And so, you know, we talked about it when it was announced he was making a new Ghostbusters movie. I was like, that makes all the sense in the world to me, especially since I was saying it back in like 2006, 2007. I was like, if they're going to do a new Ghostbusters, why not get Jason Reitman to do it? Like, if there's anyone who understands what these characters mean and understands what it means to make one of these movies, it would be the son of the guy who made the first two. You know, it's like that makes all the sense in the world to me. And then when the announcement came out, it's like, yeah, Jason Reitman, he's doing the new Ghostbusters. I was like, I could have told you to do this 20 years ago. Like, come on. But yeah, so I think it really shows like his love and his reverence for the material in the world. It just shines through in this trailer, and I'm just so excited. I can't wait. Cliff, any other thoughts on the trailer?
Nah, man, that's it for me. I just love I love the fact that they go on YouTube and they're just looking up old videos. I'm just like, you know what? This would make sense that would be out there.
Yeah, 100%. I love that too, man. That's really cool. Swag, anything else?
No, I can't wait to finally see this one.
Yep. And ladies and gentlemen, this is going to release on November 11th here in the States. If you're outside of the States, you might want to check your release date. I guess in Australia, it's not releasing until December. So, sorry, Australia. But yeah, for those of us in the States, it will be releasing November 11th, exclusively in theaters. So, everybody be safe if you're gonna go check it out. Yeah, that's going to do it for us for trailers this week. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I realized there were some other trailers that released in the time that we took off, but a lot of it is for sort of niche stuff. I specifically wanted to bring up, there's a lot of Star Trek trailers that dropped for TV series, and I want to talk about those, but I realize I think I'm the only one here on this show that's consuming new Star Trek media, so it should really just be me talking about it, and I don't know way. That's what it is.
I say talk about it anyway, because you know what? Like the TV spots that have been coming out for Candyman, like today I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Well, there apparently was a spot they played during some sporting event a couple weeks ago, and people were like, and it was late at night, and everybody was like, "Yo, you got to stop with these Candyman ads this late, like this." And I was like, "Yeah, straight up." But yeah, no, I mean, briefly, I'll talk about it, man. Like the trailer for season 2 of Star Trek Lower Decks looks awesome, looks hilarious. The trailer for season 4 of Discovery looks great, looks amazing. We got our first trailer for Star Trek Prodigy, which is the animated series that's aimed towards kids. That's being done in conjunction with Nickelodeon. That trailer actually looks incredible. I know I said like it's for kids, but if you've seen the trailer, it's like it doesn't matter if you're a kid or an adult, you can get into the show. It looks awesome. I highly recommend anyone take a look at the trailer. It looks incredible. And that show has a fantastic voice cast. So I'm really excited to give that a shot. So yeah, no, I am really enjoying everything they're doing with Star Trek right now. I have no complaints about it. My only complaint is we still have not gotten a trailer for Strange New Worlds, and that's the one I'm so looking forward to right now. But I mean, I guess we're gonna get our first look at it probably at the end of the year, if not the beginning of next year. But yeah, that's really my only complaint. But yeah, I think everything they're doing looks phenomenal.
So,
yeah, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get into what's up, Cliff?
I was gonna tell you. So speaking of great voice acting cast, right? So it was something. I'm glad you said it because it totally. I had to get this off my chest. So watching Teen Titans Go, The Night Begins to Shine Part 2, there were some additional characters that they introduced just for the movie, right? And so one of the characters' names is Minor. Like, he's just a minor. Right. That's all he is. And, I'm like listening to the voice. I was like, God, that voice sounds so familiar. Like, I've heard it before. And I was like, I looked at my daughter and I was like, I think that's Steve Urkel. And she's like, who's that? And I was like, yo, that's Jaleel White. And so I go to look up, and sure enough, Jaleel White was like doing the voice acting.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
But like prior to him, there was a person that was like speaking really slowly and had like this elegant speech to him, and I was like, I really feel like I know all the special guest actors, right? So Malcolm McDowell was also in the movie too. So it was like, come on, man! Like all that, I was just naming actors and actresses left, right, all the special guests. I was done. I was like, this is what it's meant to be. I was like, this is exactly how you're supposed to do all of it. Let me see. I was gonna pull up some other another one really quick because there was a turtle that gave like that was like talking, this talking turtle, and I was like, God! But it was James Hong that was voicing the turtle. Yeah,
Nice.
and like he kept talking, and I was like, I know that voice too, and I knew I knew my Kiki would know too, right? So I was like, hey, close your eyes and just think really hard, like who that voice sounds like. So as the turtle starts talking, she's like, he does sound familiar. I was like, maybe a certain panda, maybe a certain goose. And she was like, that's Poe's dad?
Yep.
I was like, yeah, that's
Among
him.
other things, but yes.
I was like, he's done. Well, I was like, I knew like that's who she would know exactly who I was talking about. But like I said, like just hearing these voices, I was like, God bless. I was like, David Backendall was also in or Dan Backendall was also in this series. So it's like so many cool voice actors that were like attached. I was like, damn, dude, like I was like, I'm over here just like make myself laugh, and everybody else in the family was like, I don't know why you're laughing. I was like, oh, that's Urkel, that's Clockwork Orange, that's Wayne's World 2.
I love it. I love it. Oh man. Actually, you know what? I'm glad you brought this up because swag. I don't know. Cliff brought this up and I was like, oh yeah, that reminds me. And I was like, should we save it for TV time? Screw it. Let's talk about it right now. Cliff, have you been watching Monsters at Work on Disney Plus? Oh my god. All right. So I started watching it. I know Swag's watching it. And speaking of like great voice cast, that show has a great voice cast as well. Like,
Yeah.
and I remember watching the first episode, and I was like, so there, it's set in the Monsters universe world, Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. and Monsters University. And like I get like I sort of thought it was going to be about Mike and Sully again, and they're there, but they're not the main characters. Your new main character is a monster named Tyler, and he gets a job at Monsters Inc. He's going to be a scarer, right? But he shows up on the first day. They're like, "Oh, we're pivoting. Like, laughter is more powerful than screams." So, and he's like, "Well, I was supposed to be a scarer," and it's his whole thing about like, working in this company now that they've pivoted. But the character of Tyler, I remember watching the first episode. I was like, that voice, very familiar, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And then it finally hit me. I was like, I know who that is. I was like, that's Jonah from Superstore. And if you don't know, it's Ben Feldman, who again, like he was Jonah on Superstore, but also a show that Swag and I really love, Silicon Valley. He played Ron LaFlamme, as well as he's in many, many, many other things. But I was like, yeah, I know that guy, and sure enough, it's him. And there Henry Winkler is in the show. But there was another character who showed up in the most recent episode named Gary. And I was like, that's Gabriel Iglesias. And it was like, nah, the show has a great voice cast, man. Like if you're not watching it, ladies and gentlemen, go check it out. It's definitely worth your time. The episodes are about 30 minutes a piece. And yeah, man, it's great. It's great. I'm having a blast watching it. Makes me laugh every time. So Swag, like, yeah, what do you think of the show, man? Like, real quick.
Oh, I'm loving it. It's great. Like, it's that thing. Like, you can even like freaking back me up on this. Like, it's Monsters Inc. was like it's my childhood movie.
Real.
Yeah, and so like. And then, Monsters University came out, and that was also a good movie. And I heard about this show coming out on Disney Plus, and I was like, oh, cool, that's gonna be awesome. And then I watched the trailer when that came out, and it made me laugh. And I watched it with our little sister, and she laughed too. And I was like, yeah, this is gonna be great.
Yeah.
And so, we sat down and we watched it, and yeah, it's great. Like I love it, and it's new characters too. Like yes, Mike and Sully are there, but it's mostly focused on these new characters, and I love them. They're great.
Yep.
They're all funny in their own way.
Oh yeah. The new characters grow on you like immediately.
Yeah.
And to the point where it's like you're not even mad that Mike and Sully aren't the main characters. I mean, they're there. Like I'm not saying they're not there. They're there, but they're not the focus. But yeah, no, the characters are great. I love them. Yeah, and I will vouch for Swag. Like I always tell the story when he was a baby. He was little. That was like the first movie he ever saw, and like no joke. I tell this like this is how good a movie Monsters Inc. is. He made us watch it like over and over and over and over and over and over and over again on repeat. Never got tired of it. I can still watch that movie, having watched it like 100 times on repeat. I can still watch it and laugh and enjoy it. And yeah, no, it was Swag's favorite movie. Like, when he was a baby, when he was a kid, and yeah, I knew this was something he was going to want. But like the voice cast specifically, like blew me away because it's like it's everybody from the movies. Billy Crystal, John Goodman, Jennifer Tilly is back. Like everybody they reprised their role. And then on top of that, you have the new voice cast, which is phenomenal. Like I said, led by Ben Feldman, and you've got Henry Winkler, and you've got, like I said, Gabriel Iglesias is there. And it's really good, man. So I advise everybody to check it out. Really good time.
It's funny how you're like we're talking about voice actors and like just like how iconic like they are, right? Because like and I'm not gonna give when we talk about TV time, I'll give my thoughts about Loki, but I want to talk about Miss Minutes because I had no idea who Miss Minutes was until I was on TikTok. And there's Tara Strong just like, good evening, y'all. And I was like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I saw people were freaking out when they found out it was Tara Strong. So, no, straight up.
Of course, it's gonna be her.
Of course. Yeah. No, straight up, man. Like, voice acting is it's an art form just like, like theater acting and live, film acting. Like it's and people who can do it, like they're just as iconic as people like, Brando and whatnot. Like it's awesome. And actually, I'm glad we got on this topic because this actually segues perfect into our story. So, ladies and gentlemen, and this is a follow-up to something once again that we reported on. Feels like this was just a month or two ago. Because remember, this was a surprise. So they announced that the Injustice animated movie was happening. And I believe this was last week when this story broke. Yeah, July 21st, 2021. So not only did they announce the voice cast for the movie, but we also got our first look at the film. Looks fantastic. The animation, Cliff, I don't know if you saw it, but it definitely looks like the same animation style that they're using for like Mortal Kombat Legends. And this got me, I started dubbing this the NetherRealms animated universe, especially since like characters from Mortal Kombat show up in Injustice, so that might happen, and like, the Joker showed up in Mortal Kombat 11, so I don't know if that's something they're playing with or whatnot, but the fact that they're using the same animation style here at least suggests that might happen. So that's very cool. The other thing, like I said, the voice cast was announced for this, and that's honestly what I want to talk about here in regards to this story, because you'll remember when we first talked about this, when the announcement came out, I was like, I feel like you could just port the voice cast from the game over to the animated movie. That makes all the sense in the world. They did not do that. But I'm actually not upset about it because the people they got, this voice cast is incredible. I have no gripes with it, and I'm not gonna lie, I may or may not have already heard some of the voice performances, and I'm gonna tell you right now, yeah, I'm genuinely impressed with the work that was done. But let's get into the voice. I'm gonna save who they cast for Superman until the end because that's the most interesting one to me. But so Anson Mount is voicing Batman. If you don't know who he is, it's funny. I just brought up Star Trek because he's playing Captain Pike on Strange New Worlds, and he's been in many other things. So that was definitely interesting. And again, I've heard his performance. I dig it. So he gets a thumbs up. Laura Bailey as Lois Lane, which is Laura Bailey can do no wrong, if you ask me. She is also voicing Ramakrishna. Zach Callison is voicing Damian Wayne and Jimmy Olsen. Brian T. Delaney as Green Lantern. Brandon Michael Hall as Cyborg. Edwin Hodge as Mr. Terrific and Killer Croc. Oliver Hudson as Plastic Man. Jillian Jacobs as Harley Quinn. Our boy, Yuri Lowenthal as Mirror Master, The Flash, and Shazam. Derek Phillips as Nightwing and Aquaman. Kevin Pollak, which was surprising, as the Joker and Jonathan Kent. Anika Noni Rose as Catwoman. Reed Scott as Green Arrow and Victor Zsasz. Farron Tahir as Ra's al Ghul, which that surprised me. That's a great call. That is a great call. Fred Tatasciore as Captain Atom. Janet Varney as Wonder Woman. And Andrew Morgado as a Mirror Master soldier. So that is the full cast that has been announced. Now, I said I held back on who they cast as Superman because this honestly took me by surprise, but I was like, you know what? I like it. You know why? Because they cast none other than Justin Hartley as Superman. And if you don't know why that's interesting, he played for 4 years on Smallville. He played Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow, on Smallville in live action. And then obviously I think most modern audiences know him from This Is Us, but his connection to the DC universe cannot be overlooked. And it surprised the heck out of me when I read his in the cast. Now, again, he is one of the performances that I did get to hear, and I dig what he's doing with the character. I honestly want to interview him, if not for no other reason than to just ask him, like, hey, did you maybe pull anything from Tom's performance since you starred opposite him for so many years? Like, I legitimately would like to ask him about, like, where he pulled his performance from, if that had any kind of influence on him. But, again, like, this voice cast surprised me in the best way possible. I'm really, really looking forward to this movie. And, yeah, so I want to throw this over to Cliff. Cliff, what do you think of the voice cast? What names sort of stand out to you the most?
Well, Justin Hartley is definitely the tops because, one, I never watched Smallville, so I didn't know that he was, Oliver. And then, like, two, just seeing him, I was like, what's weird is if you did a live action Superman, I may buy in to him playing Superman.
You got that look.
Like, he's just got like, well, you know what? And if they're like, hey, you know what? Let's do like a Captain America type thing, and we'll bring him in. Like, he could be another universe, another multiverse Captain America. But
sure.
it's interesting just seeing everybody and all the names, and I'm like, you know what? I really dig this cast. I really, really do. I love that we get Mr. Terrific in there. I love the fact that, Kevin Pollak is playing Joker, as well as Jonathan Kent. Not that we don't really like Jonathan, because Jonathan is the man. But there's like so many. It's cool. I'm all hyped with it. So I'm 100% in.
Yeah. I think next to Justin Hartley, the one that stood out to me most was Kevin Pollak as the Joker. Because, again, like, he's super talented, actor, but I also know he is very good at voice work as well. And that was probably the one that surprised me the most, especially since he's playing the Joker. And I said to Swag, I was like, look, I know Kevin Pollak. I guarantee you he had to fight the urge to do a Jack Nicholson Joker. But and again, I'm gonna sort of spoil something. His was one of the voice performances I did get to hear already, and fantastic. He's doing great work over there. But yeah, man, I'm really excited about it. Swag, what about you? What do you think of this voice cast? What kind of sticks out to you the most? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, the voice cast is great. And you know that's like this cast is like that. They really did like top somehow the game cast.
Yeah.
And like that's saying something considering like, you know, they've got like the voices that everybody would go to for like Batman and Superman and so like that's already got me excited. But yeah, like I can't wait to hear everybody's performances and see this movie, and you know, get to see more of that story, because I've loved what I've gotten to experience from the games, but I would like to see what happened, you know, in between games. So that's gonna be great.
Agreed. And they sort of confirmed that this is, while yes, the sort of the basic premise of this animated film is taken from the games. You know, the idea that Superman, for reasons that I don't want to spoil for people if they haven't played the games, you know, he goes bad, and you know, there's the Justice League, and indeed the world's heroes and villains then get split into two different factions that are fighting each other. They confirmed that the story for the movie is going to be pulled from the comic book series. And obviously, like, there's characters in this movie that were not in any of the video games, like Mirror Master and Plastic Man, and you know, so on and so forth. But yeah, so I'm super excited. Can't see what we can do. Also, I want to give a shout out to Yuri Lowenthal, because, like I said, when I found out he was voicing the Flash, I was like, that makes all the sense in the world, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. I can't wait to see the movie. And this is one of those things we don't have a confirmed release date for other than this fall. So keep you guys up to date on that. The more we know. But before we move on to the next story, Cliff, do you have any final thoughts on this?
No, I like what I get to see, so I can't wait to hear. Like, I can't wait to see the movie.
Yeah. Flag, what about you?
Yeah. I'm excited. This is gonna be good.
Yeah. All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know what you think, what your thoughts are on the voice cast for the Injustice animated movie. Are you looking forward to it? Yeah, there it is. All right, let's move on. We got some games news. Don't we, Swag? We got some video game stuff to talk about this week.
Yes, we do.
All right.
Yeah, so going into the usual, start with Fortnite. So we already know, like, you know, we had all the skins and the crossover with the comic and Batman, and we're still waiting on Superman, though he's dropping very soon. I don't know the exact timer, but I know we're 2 weeks away. And I do want to clarify, if any of you are panicking like I did when the timer popped up on the menu screen, don't worry, this season is not ending. It's just a mid-season event that's happening. So we will get Superman this season before it ends.
Yeah.
But moving onwards, we did get a really sick announcement. And you know, we're getting another film crossover with the game, and that is with the upcoming Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And we're getting Bloodsport as our next DC skin.
Which it
Yeah, it looks amazing. There is a trailer, and it's playing right now, probably more than likely. We had, and it was great too because we got Idris Elba like breaking down the character for people who didn't know, you know, doing his thing. But yeah, like getting a look at the skin was like, it looks really good. And by the looks of it, there's going to be a weapon skin that's also going to be released with this.
Oh,
yeah. So yeah,
it would have to be
dropping
right.
on. Yeah, because the suit, makes Yeah. But the skin will be dropping on Tuesday, August. That's the 3rd. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that the skin will be dropping. Yep, exactly. On August 3rd, in just a few days from when you guys are listening to this. So, if you want this Bloodsport skin, you better be ready to sacrifice some wallet funds.
Have those V-Bucks ready to go.
Yeah. But I do want to say that they did mention. They did say the Bloodsport and more will be coming. We don't know exactly what they mean, but we did get a glimpse at something in the trailer. But we don't know exactly if this is, which I really hope not, because it wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense. But we did see the Rebirth Harley skin in the trailer, but she had the black and red highlights instead of the pink and blue. So we're thinking that that's going to be just a thing that if you already own that skin, you will get that. But if you don't have the skin, they'll just put it back on the shop and you can buy it. But who knows, they might make it a separate skin, which again wouldn't make sense to sell a duplicate with just the highlights changed.
Yeah.
But that seems to be one of the other things that they said will be dropping. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And this weekend, Halo Infinite has been sharing more on their multiplayer, which I don't know. I think I might be the only one excited for this. Cliff, do you have any interest in this Halo stuff?
I love Halo.
Great, then I won't be alone. So yeah, they've been showing off a bunch of multiplayer stuff, and there's a lot of multiplayer gameplay going around right now, and I've just been losing my mind just watching this stuff, and it looks good. Cliff, have you seen any of this stuff yet?
No, I'm waiting. I'm just gonna be all surprised. I'm just
he doesn't want to spoil anything right now.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing, because this, like, I don't want to get too in depth, but this is probably like the first Halo in like years that I will actually be like sinking time into, like hours. Armor customization is freaking dope, on point. Like it's going back to like Halo Reach levels of customization. All the armors look amazing. There has not been a single armor set where I was looking at it for 5 minutes straight, wondering what drugs they were all taking designing them. Looking at you, Halo 5. But no, it looks fun. I can't wait to get my hands on the upcoming beta. That's gonna be fun.
Right on. Anything else then?
No, I don't believe so. I think that should be it.
All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to do it for games this week. Again, not a lot, but I feel like what is happening is pretty exciting. So yeah, thanks Swag. Thanks for keeping us in the loop. And let's let's go ahead and move on because we do have. I feel like these are some of the most exciting pieces of news that came out in the time since we took some time off. We're going to lead with this story because honestly, this has me pretty excited considering the possibilities here. So let's talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got some casting news for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Actress Michaela Cole, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, has joined the cast in an undisclosed role. Now, I am not familiar with her body of work, and honestly, I wouldn't know who she may or may not be playing. But she comes from like I'm looking at some of her credits, and all this stuff is pretty impressive. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what she's capable. Apparently, she was in The Last Jedi. I'm just going through it in my head, like trying to figure out, where was she? I don't know. I'll have to rewatch the movie to see spot it. But yeah, so I'm very excited about this. Cliff, how do you feel about this?
I'm hyped. I'm just hyped for Wakanda Forever to come out. It's I don't know, man. I'm very curious to see how they handle obviously Chadwick and the situation. Obviously the situation, rest in peace. But it's interesting. I'm hyped, and I mean that's pretty much all I can go with until we get a trailer that drops, and Namor better be in a fucking trailer.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. Swag, how do you feel about this cast?
It's interesting. It's and like especially like with the thing with Chadwick, like I wonder what they're gonna do with this movie. And like it's still a thing. Like I'm intrigued. I'm interested to see more. Yeah, like, and again, like it's that thing where like Marvel's kind of really grabbing my attention again. So yeah, I'll be watching and paying attention for sure.
Yeah. I agree. I'm very interested to see the direction they take the film in. Obviously, like we're all sort of anxious to see how they handle the passing of Chadwick Boseman and what they do in the universe. But it's Ryan Coogler. I have no doubt he'll be able to pull something off that is respectful and an enjoyable movie. Now, however, the thing I do want to talk about, and again, this is not me. I don't know for certain. Like I said, I don't know who Michaela Cole is playing in the film. It's not specified in any articles. I did want to bring up, again, I don't like to talk about like speculation, rumor, or fan theories because that generates a lot of. I feel like when you start doing that, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. So, with all that being said, I heard somebody theorize that he could be playing Storm in this movie. Which, if that's the case, pretty cool. That actually got me pretty excited. Again, I'm not saying that is indeed what's happening one way or the other. I'm just saying that was an idea someone threw out, and I was like, oh, that'd be pretty cool. Because Storm has, history with the nation of Wakanda and with the Black Panther in the comic books. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense, and especially since Marvel can use those characters now. Like, why not? Again, like it's just a theory. It's not confirmed in any way, shape, or form, but pretty cool. Just the idea of it, the possibility that could be a thing that happens, got me pretty excited. So, that there is that. So I just wanted to throw that out there, and I kind of want to ask Cliff, like, what do you think about that? Like, just the possibility that could be a thing that happens.
I'm not against that. Not against that at all. And if they do allow her to play Storm, by all means, go and kill it because I know you will because it'll be amazing. And preferably, if I could get a pic of Storm, I want future Storm with the mohawk because she was that sexy with that look.
Oh yeah. I think people know that's my favorite version of Storm as well. So Yeah. Swag, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, like that really gets me pretty excited. If it does end up happening, like yeah, like I'm with Cliff, like freaking make that your character in that movie and just own the role, because
Yeah.
you can. Uh, but also like that would make things really interesting in the story for this character and the MCU in general. Like it'll definitely change things, and it will be
Yeah.
interesting to see where they go with it and how they tell this story.
Definitely. Definitely. I agree 100%. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is happening. So I mean, not the we don't know if that's happening or not. We know that this actress has been cast in the movie. Don't know who she's playing, but let us know what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Are you excited? Who do you think she might be playing? Yeah, let us know. All right, let's get into it. This is our final story. It's a two-parter, by the way. Before we get into TV time. Now, I believe we spoke about this in the last episode we recorded, right? Before we went on break. We talked about the Batgirl movie. Cliff was not here. I hope he watched that episode though, because this story goes right back around to what I already said in that episode. Swag, you'll remember. Um, so we talked about it in the last episode that the Batgirl movie is supposed to start filming in October, and we were like, no cast has been announced. October is pretty close. It's not that far away. And, Swag and I were speculating, it's like, they haven't announced the cast. They're going to start shooting in only a couple months. Like, they better get on that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, some casting dropped in the time that we've been off, namely for the title character. We have our Barbara Gordon / Batgirl. And look, it's not who any of us thought it was going to be. But that being said, very exciting for many, many reasons. Now, I'm not going to keep you waiting any longer in case you don't know who it is. Actress Leslie Grace has been confirmed to have gotten the role in the film. And again, I'm not familiar with this young. I realized she was in the Heights, which just dropped, and apparently she was like the breakout star of that movie. And now I'm like, I should probably check out this movie then. Uh, but again, like not familiar with her, but seeing her excitement and her enthusiasm for the role on social media has me so excited. And also, something I spoke to both Swag and Cliff about, she's a Latina woman. So everybody knows that's got me excited, like, on so many levels. It's just like when they cast Sasha Calle as Supergirl for the Flash movie. Like, this has me so super excited for multiple reasons. And it's just, look, I'm excited. I'm super excited. She's a very beautiful young woman, and again, like, everybody kept raving about her performance in the Heights. So look, I'm gonna have to familiarize myself with her work, but like I said, just seeing her excitement and her enthusiasm for the role since the announcement came out, I'm on board. I'm super excited for this. Cliff, I want to throw this over to you. How do you feel about this casting? And are you, like, how does it influence your excitement levels for the movie?
Okay, so I need everybody to say it with me because it's very important. What do we say every time this casting happens? We taking over.
Taking over.
Yes.
Yeah, so shout out to the Dominicana. Yeah, she definitely killed it in the Heights. I loved her role in it. She is an amazing talent, and you're right. She was definitely a breakout star. Not to take anything away from Anthony, he did amazing as well. But let's be real, like, she was like a driving force for this movie. So I'm definitely excited to see that she's there. Very, very, very talented, great voice. Not that that's gonna help her because she's Batgirl, and I love the fact that she's Barbara. So
Yes.
I'm all in for this, man. Like, anytime I see that, uh, you know, we are being represented very well in his roles, man. I'm getting super hyped for it. So let's go.
Yes, agreed 100%, Cliff. 100%. You nailed it. Swag, I'm going to throw it over to you. What are your thoughts, man? How do you feel about this?
This is yeah, like going back to the Supergirl casting, like this is making me happy the more and more that this happens, because it's that thing of like, yeah, like, you know, we're getting this kind of a representation, yes, for us, but also like for me and you, like I know you feel the same way, like for our sister, our little sister. It's like now she has these versions of the characters that she can dress up as and not feel, you know, like she's not really, like she can look up to these characters now. And that makes me happy, and that brings a smile to my face. But even like to go to think like, yeah, sure, I'm not familiar with her work, but like I think she's gonna do a great job as the character, and I can't wait to see what she does. So yeah, I'm excited for sure.
Yes, agreed 100%. Yeah, it's great because like you said, like we talked about with Supergirl, it's great that, you know, like my little sister can look up at the screen and see herself represented in this character. Like that's amazing. It's phenomenal. And not even just for like my niece, you know, or our niece, she can do the same thing. And like, you know, all the other little brown girls around the world, you know, like that's phenomenal. It's fantastic. I will never stop being excited for that kind of representation. You know what I mean? So it's great, man. I love it. So yeah. No, I'm super excited. I think we're all excited. I can't wait until we start. Again, they're going to start shooting in a couple of months here. So I guarantee you we're going to start to see stuff. Like I can't wait to see what the suit looks like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's going to be dope. I can't wait. And, you know, I mean, we can start theorizing on what it might look like or might not look like. Because like I said, this is a 2-part news story. Because, again, if you remember in the last episode we did right before we took break, we were talking about this movie specifically and like the possible, like where is it set, who might be in it, who might not be in it. We talked about specifically, we were like, well, who's going to play her father, Commissioner Gordon, in the movie? And we talked about how there was a casting call put out for Commissioner Gordon. And Swag and I remember we originally said, we were like, well, why wouldn't they bring back J.K. Simmons? You know, like that's untapped resource you've got at your disposal right there, man. Why wouldn't you do that? But in the same episode, I talked about how someone else told me that doesn't mean he's not going to be in the movie. They did the same thing on The Flash with Iris West, and you saw they did bring back Kiersey Clemons. It's like, it's just one of those like courtesy things they have to do. You know, in case for whatever reason the person they have contracted just can't do it. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And so this week, that was sort of put to rest because it's been reported J.K. Simmons. Well, this article I'm looking at says he's in talks to return as Commissioner Gordon for the Batgirl movie. However, other articles and reports are claiming he has already signed on to reprise the role. Now, again, I'm going to wait until we get any official confirmation, but just the fact that he is talking, they are talking about bringing him back, he is talking about coming back, very exciting. Very, very exciting. And honestly, I hope they can reach a deal and let him come back and play the part because I would love for him to do it again. If in case you're wondering, like, what do you mean J.K. Simmons? He was Commissioner Gordon in Zack Snyder's Justice League. All right, in case you forgot. All right. Yeah. But yes, so again, just the fact that those talks are happening, and it looks like he's going to do it. He's going to return. I'm all for it, man. This made me so happy. And again, it makes all the sense in the world considering the script for the Batgirl movie was written by Christina Hodson, who previously wrote Birds of Prey. She wrote the script for The Flash, and she wrote this movie. Makes all the sense in the world that it would be following that continuity. So yes, I'm very happy and very excited just to hear this update. Again, I'm gonna wait until we get any kind of official confirmation. Although remember, this same thing happened with Michael Keaton on The Flash. We heard that he had entered talks to return to play Bruce Wayne / Batman, and we never actually got follow-up confirmation. And then a couple weeks ago, he's on the set filming. So who knows? That might be the same thing that happens here. But regardless, I'm excited, and yeah. So I'm gonna throw it over to Swag. How does this news? How do you feel about this, man?
Yeah, it's got me pumped. And that was the thing that I was also thinking about. Jesus, it would, it's like we got to see him play the character in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and even before that, we knew he was going to be playing Commissioner Gordon way back when, before Justice League even got shot. And, we were both hyped. We were both excited. And, like, seeing him play the character in the movie, it's like, yeah, it's for good reason we were hyped. And, like, his performance was great, and I want to see more of him as Commissioner Gordon. But also in this movie, like, he would also end up, playing Commissioner Gordon, but Jim Gordon.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing that I really want to see, because I know he can pull that emotional performance and make us all feel something, like, about this, father and his daughter, and that's what I want to see.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like that, honestly, that's what I'm most excited about, to have him come back and play the role, is to see him expand upon, like, like we only saw him briefly in Justice League, and again, like, J.K. Simmons is one of the greatest working actors currently, and no, that's exactly what I'm excited for. That's why I wanted him to come back for this movie, because you'll get to see the father-daughter dynamic there, which is not something we've seen in live action between these two characters. Like, I'm thinking about now, it's like, no, I don't think we ever really saw that in live action. Yeah. So that's very exciting. Like, he'll be the first actor to get to break that ground. Like, again, I know the character Commissioner Gordon and even Batgirl have appeared in live action in projects together, but, like, that relationship was never really a thing. Like, the Adam West series never really did it. They acknowledged that they are father and daughter, but it was never really expanded upon. And then, obviously, in the Batman and Robin movie, Barbara wasn't even his daughter in that movie. So, obviously, that was not a relationship that they did in that movie. And even though the character Barbara Gordon is going to be appearing in live action on Titans, they've sort of already established that Commissioner Gordon is gone. Yeah. So we're still not going to get to see that relationship there. So, yes, it's very exciting, the idea that we're going to get to see that here in this film. And if, J.K. Simmons, if it's going to be him, like, super excited. Super excited. Like, you cannot tell me that's not going to be amazing. So, Cliff, how do you feel, man?
Okay, I'm glad that we're all talking about, like, J.K. Simmons possibly being Jim Gordon. I'm going to be 100%. I'm just going to say, he is Jim Gordon. I don't care what anybody says. He's the man. All right. But we are getting away from the point that needs to be made, that this version of Jim Gordon fucks Latinas, and I say Constance Marie should be the mom.
Oh, I co-sign that. I will co-sign that. Yes. I'm on board with that.
I'm just saying that we're getting away from the point that our man J.K. Simmons out here fucking Latina bitches, and that's what that means.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, like, straight up, I was like, are we gonna get to see who plays her mom? Because, like, I wanna find out.
Me too.
I want to see that. Like, what's going on? Yeah. So I co-sign your fan casting. I'm on board. I was
like, dude, like, I'm sitting here, like, racking my brain of, like, people I want to see in this movie play the mom, right? And obviously Miss Gordon, and all I thought was the first thought was Constance Marie, and I was like, that has to be top pick. If I don't get her, I will take Ava Mendes. If I can't get Ava Mendes, let me get Eva Longoria. I was like, can't get her, I will take J-Lo at that point, but just understand, J-Lo, you will be fourth on this string. I was like, there, Rosie Perez. Let me get. I mean, I know she got kind of like that annoying voice. I'll take Rosie Perez at that point. I'm just saying, like, I know who I want.
Hold up. I gotta stop you right there, Cliff. Rosie Perez is already in this universe. She plays her name on.
I was gonna say.
I love Rosie Perez, but like, bruh.
How could you forget that one?
But no, bro. Well, Cliff has established he hasn't seen Birds of Prey.
Oh, that's true. That's very true.
Look, I love all your picks there. I think Eva Longoria or Eva Mendes are fantastic choices as well. But I'm going to throw one in here. Again, not that your choices weren't great, your choices were top tier, Cliff. I will co-sign any of those. However, as you were going through these names, I was like, I feel like he's forgetting one who I feel would be a fantastic Maria Canals Barrera. You don't know who she is. She voiced Hawkgirl in the Justice League animated series. But most of you will probably remember her. She was the mom in Wizards of Place. as well as many other movies and TV shows. She's everywhere, man. Like, just look at her filmography. She's everywhere. But yeah, she honestly was the first one that came to my mind. But again, Flip, your choices, fantastic.
Okay. I was like, I'm sitting here just the whole time, and all I could think about was like, I wonder what Constance is doing right now. She's probably auditioning for this role. So great move. Great move.
You know what blew my mind? You mentioned Eva Longoria, and I was like, I think Cliff might be honest about me. Eva Longoria has been hyping up Leslie Grace ever since the announcement came out. And now I'm like, oh, I think Cliff's onto something here. So yeah, we'll see.
Just turn into Vanoss.
Yeah.
Let's just put it out there, though. Let's really put it out there that whenever I want someone to get picked for a movie, they usually get casted.
Yeah.
My batting percentage is like 63% cast wise.
I'm gonna say, let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So yeah, look, we're obviously very excited about this. And again, we're gonna keep you guys up to date on every step of the production on this movie. Look, man, I'm so hyped. I'm super excited. Can't wait. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for us on the news this week. Although before we move on to TV time, I want to give a shout out real quick. So a couple days ago from this recording, crap. Why am I blanking on this? Like, homeboy, such a big Bob Odenkirk. God, sorry. I'm so sorry. My brain is fried right now. Bob Odenkirk collapsed on the set of Better Call Saul. He was rushed to the hospital, and I remember that report came out, and everybody's hearts just like dropped. You know, myself, I was just shook. You know, because I was like, 2020, 2021, you better not, man. Like, I can't. Better not take Bob Odenkirk from me. You know, and I got real emotional, man, because like, this is a guy who's super prominent in pop culture. You know, not just as an actor, but as a writer, as a producer. This, you know, I immediately started in my head like everything that he sort of has been in or associated with that means something to me. So obviously, I was very, very distraught. Now, you know, they took him to the hospital, and he's doing fine. He's okay. They stabilized him. He's recovering. His family, you know, they updated us saying he's doing fine. But I was just blown away by how everybody on the internet kind of pulled together to wish this man well and to hope for his recovery. And I was just like, that's how you know you're somebody that, you know, has touched a lot of lives. Like, not a single bad thing was said about this man. And so yeah, I just want to be like, I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad he's recovering, because that would have been just terrible, if something truly bad had happened to him. So yeah, I just want to wish Bob Odenkirk all the best. I hope I hope you're doing well. I hope you're recovering fully. And yeah. I just wanted to say something because it was genuinely like I felt my heart just it was awful. I don't even want to relive that right now because I'm starting to get emotional just talking about it. But Cliff, Swag, was there anything you wanted to say about that?
No, just get well.
Yeah, get better. We can't do this without you, man. Just get better.
Yeah, straight up. All right, we love you, Bob. Get well soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now comes to our favorite time, our favorite part of the show. We're gonna do some TV time. Again, we've been away for a while, so we've got quite a bit to talk about. Cliff, I'm gonna throw this over to you because we did miss the conclusion of Loki over on Disney Plus. However, I have been keeping up with the news. The show was renewed for a season 2, so that's very exciting. But Cliff, just real quick, because we don't have a lot of time. Now that the show, the first season has sort of come to its end, to its conclusion, how did you feel about it? What were your thoughts, and how would you rate sort of the entirety of season 1?
Yeah, so the way the show wrapped up, was a trip. I loved that we now obviously we're in the multiverse now. We're not on a single timeline. That was yet unexpected. I loved how the show ended, and I loved that He Who Remains pretty much let them know, hey, if you do this, I will just come back and I will take over. And that's exactly what happened. You pretty much were warned, and instead of listening, it was weird to see Loki be the cooler head in this. In that final where he was just like, I'm just gonna let you know, he's probably right. We shouldn't do this, and we should just go back. And she was like, no. And I was like, to be fair though, that fight scene between those two was amazing. So I was definitely in with that. And there's so much I could talk about, which is the final episode, but I'm just very excited that we're in the multiverse now, and we're seeing everything play out. So I'm genuinely hyped, and I can't wait to see everything play out the way it's gonna play out. So yeah, my final thoughts to it, definitely giving it a 9 overall. And I feel like with every single one of these Disney shows, they start off really slow, but then they leave you with such high expectations of what's going to happen in season 2. So don't let me down, Disney. You already did that with Scarlett Johansson, and you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, but yeah, so there's that.
I know what you're talking about, but we don't have nearly enough time to get into that right now. But yeah, I'm with you, Cliff. I'm with you. Yeah, man. I saw a lot of the hype around the show, especially when it came to its conclusion. So yeah, looks like they're doing good stuff over there. Again, I didn't watch the show because it's I don't know, it's not really for me. As far as Marvel goes from here on out, I think I'll bomb in and out just on what really appeals to me and what But no, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. And I'm glad everybody else did too. Anyone else who was watching it, if you enjoyed it, awesome. That's great. So yeah, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna touch upon real quick the Flash season 7 finale, which Swag, I know you're not caught up on all the way. You did see the penultimate episode, the proper introduction to Bart Allen. So I want to kind of get your thoughts on that. What do you think, man? Seeing Jordan Fisher come onto the show fully and really kind of flesh out the character.
I loved it, and we even talked about it at the ending of the episode prior to that one. Just those few seconds that we did get, it was everything that I thought it would be, and then the actual episode's exactly. I still think that it was the right choice.
Yeah.
Like he played Bart perfectly.
Yeah.
And I loved his performance, and I can't wait to see more of it.
Yeah. I agree. I agree 100%, man. Jordan Fisher blew me away. I've talked about it many, many times. Bart Allen is probably one of my favorite Flash characters, and I had to really think about it. I think, like, yeah, I think it's Barry Allen, obviously, is the Flash. Then Bart, then Jay Garrick. Like, for sure, like that's about number one, number two, number three. And I had to really think about it. I was like, do I love Bart more than I love Barry? I had to really think about it, and the answer is yes. Like Bart is a character that means a lot to me. Like I have a super like personal attachment to that character. And so yeah, like I was blown away by Jordan Fisher's performance. He nailed it. He nailed the character. He nailed the energy. But like on top of like being like the hyperactive, super funny Bart Allen that we all know and love, he also nailed like the heart and what it is that drives the character. And yeah, man, I'm super impressed. Super impressed. Um, as far as the finale goes, I think I really enjoyed it. I really liked what they did. Some of it was a bit kind of like, oh, this is a little goofy. But, aside from that, I think the finale really worked because I think Godspeed worked as a villain. And there were a couple of guest stars in the finale, which I won't spoil here because I know Swag hasn't gotten caught up. But in particular, there's one interaction with a guest character that shows up that had me super excited for what's to come. Yeah, no, like I said, I was not a big fan of season 7 as a whole. I thought season 7 started out really strong and then kind of floundered for the most part. But once Godspeed showed up and they did the Godspeed imperative, I think that saved the season. And yeah, I enjoyed what they did here. So, I mean, as a whole, I think season 7 is probably a 6 or a 7 out of 10. But if I were to just rate the Godspeed imperative, I would probably give it a 9 out of 10. So, yeah, pretty good. A pretty good end to the season overall. So, all right. That's the Flash. Before we get into Superman and Lois, which is probably just going to be me and Cliff because just the last 2 episodes. But before we get into that, I want to bring up a news story. And again, this is related to TV time. Everyone knows I'm a huge fan of Smallville. I brought it up earlier. This week, we got the heavenly announcement that the entirety of all 10 seasons, is finally coming to Blu-ray. Now that's a big deal for me as a fan, as a collector, but also just for the show in general, because currently the only seasons of Smallville that are available on Blu-ray are seasons 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Season 5 was available in HD, but it was on HD DVD, which is a dead format. So unless you have the HD DVD release and an HD DVD player, cannot watch season 5. Seasons 1 through 4 were never released in HD. So this is a big deal. The fact that they're spending money on doing HD transfers of seasons of television that are at this point 20 years old and releasing it in a giant box set for fans like myself to own is phenomenal. And it had me so super, super excited. I've seen the box art. It looks phenomenal. And the funny thing is, you know how I found out that this was happening? There was no big press announcement, whatever. Tom Welling posted about it on Instagram, on his Instagram page. And I was like, what? So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm very excited. I know the rest of the Smallville fans are excited about it as well. And I can't wait to get my hands on it. It's dropping this October for anyone who is interested. That's when you'll be able to get it. All right. Super excited about that. Just wanted to put that out there for anyone who didn't know. Okay. Cliff, let's talk some Superman and Lois. Now, I already said Swag is not caught up. Cliff, you're almost caught up.
Almost.
Yeah, almost caught up. You are missing the final 15 minutes of the most recent episode. So, with that being said, let's talk about episode. What is this? Episode 12 of season 1, Through the Valley of Death. This was, again, they had gone on break prior to this episode. And, every time the show sort of goes on break, they always come back with pretty stellar episodes. Like the last time they went on break, they came back with a phenomenal episode. And this was no different. I felt like this episode, sort of dealing with the aftermath of Tal-Rho's attack on Smallville, and everybody sort of dealing with the aftermath of that. It was very emotional, and also the whole thing with Superman giving himself over to his half brother and sort of allowing himself to be turned, and sort of how the world deals with that. This was a great episode, man. There was a lot of emotion. There was a lot of, the family dynamic in this episode was fantastic. Also, guest appearance by David Ramsey, who played John Diggle. I'm always going to love it when he shows up as a guest star in these shows. I had kind of an up and down relationship with Arrow, but he was always constantly, the heart of that show, and I will appreciate anytime they bring him back into this universe. So, yeah, man, I was really happy to see him. I loved everything they did with John Henry Irons in this episode, seeing where he went and folding him back in to sort of help deal with what's happening with Superman was phenomenal. Yeah, so I genuinely I really liked this episode. Cliff, what about you?
Yeah, I have to echo everything that you said. I genuinely loved what they did with John Henry on here. The fight scene between Superman and Steel again. I know they're not calling him Steel. I don't care. It is what it is. But Steel. Yeah. I just love the fact that his hammer, legit from 6 inches, just puts Superman down.
Yeah, that was awesome. I loved that. Yeah.
It just goes to show he has to it's weird to watch him. He has to control his hammer just as much as Clark has to control his strength, because obviously we know Superman can blow holes through people if he wants to. So I love that. I love the one thing I was gonna say, the person they chose for Kal-El was incredible. I was like, oh, word. That's just what we do. We just choosing top dogs.
Yeah. No, yeah, straight up. Even I was like, I'm sorry, what did you say? And again, I don't want to spoil it, because Swag hasn't seen it, so we're not going to say. If you've seen the episode, you know exactly what me and Cliff are talking about. That was crazy. Yeah, but it was very cool. A welcome surprise, and again, it fits in with what's already established in this universe. So, but yeah, no, that was crazy for sure. But yeah, I love the fight with Steel, and again, I'm also gonna refer to him as Steel because that's who he is. Just like Tal-Rho, that's the Eradicator. I know they don't call him that, but that's who that character. And again, minor spoilers for the most recent episode. Yeah, he's the Eradicator now. But yeah, no. So I was constantly referring to him as the Eradicator, even prior to these most recent episodes. So yeah, I'm gonna call him that as well. But no, yeah, I really love this episode, man. There was such great stuff, the stuff with John and Jordan kind of dealing with his emotions. I was the only one who could have done something to stop them, and I couldn't. And John sort of reassuring him, he's like, you can do something now. That was such a great moment, man. Again, man, I love the relationship between John and Jordan so much. it's just such a, again, like I say it so often, like it would have been so easy and thus lazy to sort of make them have an antagonistic relationship as brothers, but they went in the exact opposite direction of that, and they made them sort of, like the best version of like a brotherly relationship possible. And we're what, 12 episodes in, and I'm still like, this is still my favorite thing about the show. Like, it's great, man. So yeah, I really enjoyed that.
I was gonna say, I love the fact that he was just like, look, I gave him everything with my vision, and he just knocked me down. I was like, yeah, he's been doing it a lot longer than you have. He built that up. I was like, you've had your powers for like at best 2 months. This man's been doing it for 20 plus years. Yeah, he's gonna shut you down, bro.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close.
Not even close. Also, I want to give a shout out real quick before I forget. The actor that they get to play young Talro, that kid is killing it. Like, I believe that kid grew up to be that dude.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know what it, like, I mean, like, there's a resemblance there too, but also he matches the voice so perfectly that it's such a seamless transition from one to the other. So yeah, shout outs to that kid. Like, that's great. This show does the casting so well that like it shouldn't be that surprising anymore, but it still is. So.
Oh yeah, he's got the cadence. He's got the cadence down. Like,
yes,
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I've and again, like, he's been on the show a couple times already, but like, again, like, I always just forget to mention it, but yeah, like, that kid is playing that part so well that like I would be remiss if I didn't mention it at least once. So yeah, man, I dig this episode because, like, again, like, there's a lot of the dealing with the fallout of everything that happened, including I mean, these last two episodes have been kind of heavy on the Cushings, like with Kyle and Lana and everything they've had to deal with since everything happened. And again, like, what a character arc for Kyle, because, like, the show starts and it's like, I don't really like this guy. I didn't hate him, but I was like, I don't really like him. And then here I am, like, oh man, I feel so bad for you, man. Like, got such the short end of the stick and everyone's kind of shunning you, and it's like, and again, it's like, I didn't like him, but I said previously, I understand where he's coming from. He's looking out for his family, he's looking out for his community, and it's like, yeah, I get it, I understand where he's coming from. So it's like, yeah, man, he legitimately was just trying to do what he thought was best for his town, for his community, and he was lied to just like everyone else, and the rest of the town kind of just shunning him the way they did. It's like, man, I feel so bad for you, dude. Like, yeah, and what a way, again, like, what a way to turn me around on that character. It's like, bravo, man. The writing on this show, fantastic. What about you, Cliff?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I have to agree. Like, that arc is definitely like one of the better ones that they have, like, in the series, and it's rough, man, because there's a lot of great, like, character development, like, through the whole thing, but this one in particular, like, you ride with Kyle, and you're just like, he goes from this dude who's like a chief who like drinks himself like all the time to all of a sudden like selling himself out and like trying to get the community behind him to understand that Edge is there for a good purpose when we find out otherwise. And then you just watch like this. Now you're watching a new struggle for him, and it's like, damn, bro, like, this one, at first I was like, bro, I don't feel no pity for you because you're sitting there drinking and you're just an asshole. And now looking back at him, I was like, dude, I feel so much pity for you because you're not drinking and you probably should be.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody at this time be like, hey, bro, like, here's a beer. Like, this is the time you deserve one. And I'm just like, man, like, it's rough.
Yeah, it's super rough, man. And look, there's so much stuff about this episode I want to talk about, but it's so spoilery, and I don't want to ruin anything for Slack. Like, there's a thing that happens with Superman in the fight with Steel, and it's like, that was heartbreaking. Again, like, I'm not going to talk about it, but like, there's a moment where it's like, yeah, like, that's Superman. That's a Superman thing that he would do or say, and like the development with Sam Lane, General Lane, and where he started in the series and where he's at now. Again, I did like a 180 on that character as well. And again, like I don't really want to spoil anything. And Lois in this episode has some super heavy emotional moments. Yeah, like
all the heartstrings.
There's so much going on with those characters, and I'm afraid to spoil anything. So it's like I can't really talk about them, but like I want to so bad. But yeah, so again, man, the writing on the show, fantastic, phenomenal. I'm gonna give this episode. Yeah, I'd probably give this one a 10. 10 out of 10. This was a great, well-rounded episode, I think. And again, even if just for the appearance of John Diggle, like that's anytime you bring my boy John Diggle back, I'm here for it. So yeah. I really, really enjoyed this episode. It was great. What about you, Cliff?
Yeah, I'm gonna rock, and I'm gonna give it a 10 as well. One thing I did like though is that line where he's like, "You're from another world," and he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, Diggle. Wait a minute, you're from another Earth? But I love it. He's like, "Oh, not this again. I thought we were done with this."
Just the drop in his face like gave me everything. I was like, bad.
Great. Yeah, I love that moment. That was fantastic. But yeah, so yeah, great episode. Kind of hesitant to talk about the following episode because again, I know Cliff hasn't seen the full thing, but I will say just briefly, this episode, episode 13, Failsafe. Yeah, there's some really great stuff that happens there. Again, like there's some great stuff with like John and Jordan and Sarah, and there's a moment with Jonathan, with the one girl. The second she came on screen, I was like, John, stay away from that girl. Stay away from that girl. Did not like her, and I was right. So, like again, like I feel so bad for John because he's like, he's a good kid. He's a good brother. And poor guy just can't catch a break, man. Like, I feel so bad. I just want to give him a hug. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you're such a good kid. You're the heart of this family. And, like, you deserve better, man. So, yeah, I felt real bad for him.
Yeah, well, you feel like even worse, like both families now, because it's not even just like the Lanes that you feel bad for, but you feel bad for the Cummings as well. And I'm just like, bro, like to me, I'm just heartbroken for both families, like, and it's tough. And I was like, if only I could send you donations, and I would, but I don't want to because this is a TV show.
And your fictional characters.
It's fictional characters.
But
characters.
Fictional characters. But no, but I agree, man. Like that's how well written it is, and that's how much we've grown attached to the characters. It's like, yeah. And again, like I said, like these two episodes are kind of heavy on the struggles with both of the the Cushings and with the Kent family, that it's like, I man, in a show that's like, it's about Superman, and and there's stuff like a person from a parallel Earth and whatnot. It's like some of the most compelling stuff is the family dynamics on the show, and it's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, bravo to everybody. I would give Failsafe again because like I don't want to spoil anything for Cliff or for Swag, but I don't want to talk about this episode too much. I would give this one probably a 9 out of 10. The ending, again, I know Cliff hasn't gotten to the end. The ending of that episode is super intense, so be ready for that.
I love that you said it was the Kent family because Lois makes all the decisions.
You're not wrong.
I realized right when you said it too, I was like, oh yeah, I did say the Lanes. I did say that. She was just on her war. Yo, let's be side on it. She was on her war horse, man. And for me right now,
yeah.
the show
Oh yeah.
it's at a 10 just for her, man. She's like,
Oh, for
I'm
sure,
fucking
man.
everybody up. I love yo, not to, this one line too. When I get back, we're all gonna talk. I was like, yes, ma'am.
Like, straight up, like that was like my favorite part of the episode when Lois was like, because who was it? Was it John they got on first? And she was like, John, go to your room. And I love that moment where John is like, and she's like, Jonathan, I said go to your room. He's like, oh crap. So he goes up to his room, and then she's on Clark, and she's like, how could you be this? Blah blah blah. And she's going off on Clark on and on and on. And then they get the phone call about Jordan, and she's like, great, now I have to deal with this too. And she's like, look, Clark, I understand that you think this is what's best, but I have to stay angry so that I can scare the crap out of Jordan right now. And I was like, oh man, like the Kemp boys are messing up right now.
You may be Superman, but I am Super Mom, and that trumps everybody.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, these boys really messed up today. Yeah, man. Lois, this version of Lois, it pains me to say, because like I've always been like Erica Durance's Lois Lane has been my favorite for so long, but honestly, I think this is my favorite version of Lois Lane. Like they've done so much with the character in just 13 episodes that I'm like, this is easily the most interesting version of Lois Lane. And the way Elizabeth plays the part is so like you get it, you understand whether it's her just being a mom, being a reporter, being a wife, her dealing with like past traumas and trying to protect her family in the present, and like there's so much for an actress like Elizabeth to sink her teeth into, and she's killing it. She's killing it. Just like Tyler's killing it with his performance, just like, Wole Parks is killing it as John Henry. Like, even like the kids, Alex and Jordan are killing it as Jonathan and Jordan. Like, yeah, man. Like, I feel like we don't give Elizabeth enough love on this show, but like I feel like she's the backbone of the show. And so much so that the show is called Superman and Lois. Like, of course she's going to have that much to carry. It's a co-headlining show, and like she's more than holding her own on the show, man. I love it. Fantastic. But yeah, man. Like I said, Cliff, just be ready for the finale on that episode. Pretty intense. Pretty intense. All right, so that's gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen. That's TV time this week, and that is gonna do it for the show this week. Yeah, like I said, we took a couple weeks off, but not a whole lot of news, but hey, we still got to come and do a show for you when we can. All right, we're going to start wrapping things up. Cliff, let everybody out there know where they can find you.
You know what it is. You guys can find me on linkedin.com/the_reddog85. That's where my Twitter, my Instagram, my merch store, the podcast, everything that you need is right there. So you guys just go ahead, give me a follow, give me a like, give me subscribes, whatever you want to do. Just give me something.
Go show some love, ladies and gentlemen. You know what to do. Swag, go ahead and pimp the YouTube channel.
Yeah, you guys can come over to youtube.com, Mr. Swagtastic. I've got tons of footage from the past month that I'm going to sit down and start working on. A lot of fighting game stuff, might I add. Yeah, if you're interested in any of that, come check it out. I do have something funny planned. It involves impressions, and so far it's only one short video, and all I'll say is if you're familiar with Jimmy Neutron, you'll know exactly where I'm going with this.
Yep.
So yeah, that video should come out soon. Heck, maybe it's out already. But yeah, come hang out. It's a good time.
For sure. Actually, I was gonna ask you, man, when's that Injustice video coming out?
That's what I'm trying to work on right now. So
Nice.
hopefully, I'm hoping for a Monday release, but we'll see.
Yeah, not to spoil anything, but Swag and I may have collaborated on something. that should be up soon.
Yes.
But yeah, so, you know what to do, ladies and gentlemen. Go check out Mr. Swagtastic on YouTube. Plenty of content for everybody. So there it is. I'm, of course, Antonio Padilla. You can find me on all social media at Tron Pilgrim or at Tron Pilgrim 87. You can like Nerds of the Roundtable on Facebook, facebook.com/Real Nerds of the Roundtable. You can follow us on Twitter at RealNerds_. And if you're watching this episode, you're watching us on YouTube. And if at any point in the video you enjoyed it, please consider giving us a like rating and subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to ring that bell notification so you'll get every episode as soon as it's uploaded. And of course, leave a comment down below. We love hearing from you. We love interacting with you guys. And yeah, if you're listening to the episode, you're probably listening to us on anchor.fm/nerds or on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, everywhere podcasts are available. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us this week. Join us next time, same nerd channel. Good night, folks.
Swag, you know what to do.